We arrived in Chile after Gabriel Boric had just been voted in as the new Chilean president. At 35 years old, the youngest person ever to have taken that role, you could sense the optimism of what he might do. After clearing the multiple COVID protocols, we headed east from Santiago into the arid foothills of the Andes. Here we met Vito and Constanza, a young couple from Chile, who spend their life on the road climbing. We hiked up to Las Palestras, a favourite climbing spot of theirs. The vertical pinkish-orange rock face rose up from the forest canopy. It looked very daunting to me, but Constanza, gripping and stretching, like a cat, soon disappeared out of view above. Vito followed, and as the wind picked up, he stopped halfway to throw on his jacket. We were worried it might blow away.
You do not climbing without road. Yes. Because climb, it's easy. Coming down.
We then headed south to Pitrufquen to meet Pablo the blacksmith, who makes bespoke knives from the workshop behind his house. The agricultural landscape felt familiar, except it was punctuated with volcanoes. With 560 in the country, they have formed more than half of the country's landmass. It was inspiring to watch Pablo take a raw piece of metal and through heat and power bash it into a knife. He then took a piece of fossilized araucaria wood, what we call the monkey puzzle tree, to make the handle. We wanted to know more about the wood, and Pablo took us to an araucaria forest, further north, to show us where it came from. The canopies of the ancient trees framed by volcanoes were like graphic squiggles, on top of huge gnarled trunks which reminded me of the skin of an old elephant. From Pitrufquen, we flew to the Atacama Desert in the far north, one of the driest areas in the world where some places do not receive any rainfall at all. The landscape felt like we were on Mars. Here we met Nico, a conservationist specialising in pumas and the lesser-known Andean cat, which looks a bit like a small snow leopard. Working in the Puritama Reserve, he monitors the Andean cats with camera traps to better understand the local populations and how to preserve them. Nico wanted to show us the latest trap material, which meant a grueling hike up to 3,800 metres, making breathing difficult. We spotted viscachas, which looked like large rabbits when perched on the rocks, but reminded me of a kangaroo when they hopped away. It was a good sign, as they are the main prey of the Andean cat, but the chances of seeing one of the elusive cats were virtually impossible. Nico has been studying them for 15 years and had only seen them captured on his remote cameras. It was time to move on again, and this time we flew down to Punta Arenas, deep in the Magallanes, further south than Patagonia. The flight was long, despite being an average of only 177 kilometers wide. Chile is over 4,000 kilometers long and the longest country in the world. After a short bus journey past colourful tin buildings and numerous shipwrecks, we took a small boat to the old San Isidro lighthouse, the most southern in continental Chile. Despite being the height of summer, it was cold, which was hardly surprising considering how close we were to Antarctica. The desert cacti were replaced with sightings of humpback whales and dolphins. We met Nicholas Lira, a maritime archaeologist who divides his main studies between pre-Columbian navigation and remnants of the whaling industry, which exploded in the Magallanes region at the turn of the 20th century. We would be accompanying him on a dive to recover whale bones beneath the lighthouse. I met his diving partner Mateo and his brother Miguel, who are turning the lighthouse into a whaling museum. As our Chilean adventure came to an end on the Strait of the Magallanes, taking our equipment on a small boat, the lighthouse disappeared behind us, and we reflected on the inspiring Chileans we had met and what they had shown us of their unique country.